1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, this is a gas generator to solar lithium power conversion. If you're interested in learning how to do this, I'm going to do an introduction right now. And then after this, I'll play the steps that I did to get, we converted an onboard gas generator to 3 redundant sources of solar power. And I'm going to go through it with you right now, okay? So we have panels on the roof that brings in solar power to our lithium batteries, which are in that black box. We're gonna look at that next, where those cords are coming out of. So then follow that up to here. Look, right here, baby. This is our charge controller. Right now our batteries, here, let me go through the menu. Our solar panels, we only have one up there right now, but we are pulling 14 volts off that one panel. Okay, that's 2.5 amps, 5 kilowatts, and our batteries are at 13.6, which is good. They should be at 13.4. Okay, 2.5 amps and our temp battery temp. All right, panels come in from the roof to here. This is the brains of the operation. This is called a solar charge controller. From the solar charge controller, the wire runs down to the batteries on the other side of the box. From the batteries, can you see that inverter in there? I have a 3,000 watt inverter. Here, I'll show you. Let me show them what I've put right here. That 3,000 watt inverter, I put a control switch. The inverter is now on. So that inverter harvests 3 lithium batteries at 13.4 volts. All of that I just showed you is our backup. That's in case stuff gets bad. Our main system, here, back up. Watch your step. Our main system's right here. So this is our main brains right here. Now I can charge this off the solar lithium by just flipping this switch right here. Watch. Hear it? That's solar. So I'm solar charging my Blue Yeti, plus I have a solar attachment that I can plug panels into the Yeti itself, plus I'm solar charging it off my lithium. See, right now our lithium is pulling in 462 watts to charge this bad boy up. The entire trailer is wired into that through a shoreline cable. I spliced the AC of the generator into a shoreline cable and ran it through a breaker into here. So this is our main unit. This controls everything. Should this ever go down or we have a hard time, I'm sitting on top of a lithium solar conversion. Should that ever fail, for whatever reason, this has failed and the solar lithium has failed, we have this. A little mini 2,000 watt Generac generator we got used on Craigslist. Let me show you the solar or the lithium compartment. So the power goes in from the roof to the charge controller, which we showed you, from the charge controller into this. So I have 200 amp hours that Brother Craig donated a few years ago. They're pretty old, but they still work. I have this lithium. Make sure you cover all your positive terminals with clear tape so you don't get shocked. Now this cord right here that I have plugged in the breaker is the shoreline, which you saw going to the Blue Yeti. Follow that to here, and here's our shoreline plugged in right here. We can disconnect it and plug it in wherever if we're at like a campsite, but when we plug it in, it's going to that Blue Yeti.
That's awesome, baby.
All this is backup. Now hold on, let me finish with this. We have 2 solar lines going out. Okay, we close our door. Here's our solar line going up to our panels on the roof. Coming out of here, I have 2 lines. So I can I'm gonna do 2 panels on one line and 3 on another, or I'm gonna do 4 on one line and 3 on another. I haven't decided yet. But anyways, this one's hooked up right now, going to the roof. This is directly to the Blue Yeti. This is to the lithium. Each station has its own solar intake.
Wow.
This is for the lithium, which is charging right now. This is for the Yeti, which I gotta hook up yet.
Oh, the ladder just moved big time.
Yes, I have to put.
Oh, there's a solar.
I'm not ready.
Okay, so you only have one. That's
yeah, I got
awesome.
one going right now. I still got a bunch of panels. I just gotta get the tape to stick them up there. So that's that. Now, all right. If you have one of these wonderful Onan Cummins generators, the best thing you can do is throw it in the trash. These things are total crap. The parts break all the time. You have to hire a special operator to work on them. It's total trash, dude. Total pain in the butt, total trash, total waste of time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this one and we're gonna put a solar outfit in its place. First step. They connect your wonderful Onan Cummins generator to your main gas tank line. So the first step, cut the gas line. And what I did, I took a wire nut, turned it upside down, shoved it in my gas line, and then took a clamp and tightened it down. It's the best way to stop it from leaking, I think. And we'll see. I'm pretty sure this will work good. If not, I'll get like a screw or something. But this works good for now. So first step, see how they run that gas line all. Next step, remove these. And a 10mm bolt on every one. You got 3 posts, a 10mm bolt, and a hex bolt. Second step's gonna be taking this exhaust ring off. The third step, exhaust is removed. Fourth step, drain the oil out so it's not so heavy to lift out of this thing. Fifth step, let me see if we can get these little corner bolts right there. See right there by the exhaust, right there, and I got 2 on the other side. I will put a jack underneath this thing to lower it into as we lower it off. All right, we have removed our Onan generator, piece of junk. This is the space we now have to work with for our solar generator. So now I'm gonna create a cavity to stack batteries and an inverter in. All right, and also, so now we have this was our fuel line, which remember we teed off at the beginning of this video. This came out of our Onan and connected to the battery, the onboard battery. So this would be our DC line. These 3 would be our AC line, and the rest of this trash was to the automatic start in the cab. So we're gonna cut that out anyways. So all we have to worry about is you need an AC and a DC. We now remove the fuel and the onboard start. Just wanted to show you guys this. I'm mounting this floorboard in here. Used a big bolt over there, but right here I can barely even fit my hand in this little tiny space, this little cavity. I could not fit a screwdriver, nor could I fit my drill, so I prayed and asked the Lord, and He gave me wisdom to put a little bit on a socket. So make sure you're always praying, asking the Lord for wisdom whenever you do any project. I'm gonna drill a hole through metal, and I have such a little space. Look at this wonderful idea the Lord gave me. Insulation. All right, considering for a solar generator, we're gonna run the main AC. This is our main shore power, which plugs right here to this adapter, which is running to my hand. Now this is the main AC that was plugged into our Onan. I'm either gonna convert this to a 24 volt inverter, 12 volt, or a Blue Yeti system. Either way, all 3 of those options, I need a 120 volt or an AC plug. So we have a high voltage plug. What we're gonna do is we're gonna wire this in white to white, black to black, green to green, and that way we have a plug adapter. Here's our now positive running to our onboard battery, and our negative. These are both DC lines. We have not done the this is the AC. Sorry, we have not connected to the inverter. AC, here's the DC lines. Positive, negative. Both these connect to the onboard battery. We're now insulating it because we're putting lithium in. At 30 degrees, lithium cannot solar charge or else we'll mess it up. So my batteries have a shut-off switch in them, but we're trying to get this as warm as we can. I flipped the carpet for a better barrier for insulation. Let's see what we get. We put a rug in backwards to insulate better, put more mass in between the cold and the lithium. Now we have installed our first of 3 lithium batteries. I put a 250 amp breaker here. The way you deduce your breaker is by what volt, if you're doing 12, 24, 48, and how many watts. I know I'm gonna install a 3000 watt inverter and I'm on a 12 volt line. So you do the math, it comes out to about 250 amps. So I can kill switch this whole unit now, hot, cold. You see, this is now hooked up, but what we're doing is we are running to our onboard battery, which I'm now about to install. First, see, here's our new onboard battery we used. It's another lithium. You never want to run lithium and iron phosphate. Like if this was an iron phosphate, I would screw up my whole system. You have to keep it all the same. So this is going to be a lithium onboard battery. We're putting some rubber in here. We're going to insulate it with rubber and radiant barrier because lithium, you don't want to solar charge it when it's 30 degrees. So we want to insulate it. So here's our temperature chargers right here. 32 degrees. And it can max out heat-wise at 131. So let's install this. Okay. We now have our positive wires of our onboard battery connected. We improvised our negative, which I'm about to install. But before I do, I put rubber padding on the bottom. I'm now going to slide this through, rubber pad the back side opposite to this. And this rubber padding is going to go on the front. The reason being is those are all the 3 points of contact for the wind. We want to keep the lithium as warm as possible. So we're going to slide this in and then we'll connect our negative wire. Whew. All right. All these batteries are now wired together in parallel, not series. I'm going to run 2 more cables in that hole and we will connect the inverter. Here's our inverter. Okay, before we seal that, see that hole? I just realized before we seal this all up, because I'm gonna spray foam that hole to fill it so it doesn't get it cold air. And I was just about to do it. And I was like, man, I'm forgetting something. And we're running 1 more wire. This is both, here, I'll show you. This is solar wire. It's a little busted up. It's old and reused. We're reusing it. Positive and negative wire in a coating. We're gonna run this through the hole, and the reason being, this is the wire for our charge controller. So our panels will go to the charge controller, and from the charge controller through this wire, we're gonna plug into these here batteries. Boom. I'm giving us lots of room for the charge controller. Now I'm gonna put eyelets on the end of this wire and plug it into the batteries for the charge controller. Okay, we've ran our wires through the wall to this breaker, this marine breaker. That is a 200 amp breaker to a 3000 watt inverter. So we have 2 breakers total. Those 2 white wires, one is solar, one is charge controller, feeding up through the sofa. That wire on the left is the solar, which I'm about to hook up. Our battery's at 13.3 volts, and we're gonna hook up this solar now. So there's our charge controller. Okay, so we sealed all these panels they're all 100 watt, 12 volt, like 18 amp or 6 amp panels. And because it's super windy, we had to use bricks to set them. And we used through the roof sealants that clear through the roof epoxy all the way around the corners. I'm gonna wait for it to dry overnight. And then tomorrow we're gonna do one final coat on the roof with white Flex Seal. And when we do the white Flex Seal, I'm gonna seal the clear epoxy areas with white rubberized to hold them in. I tried to use tape. I didn't know this, but apparently, because I'd already put a coat of Flex Seal up, you can't use Gorilla Tape. No tape, stick to rubber on rubber. It's weird. I tried alien tape, tried everything. I tried T-Rex tape. Nothing would stick. So I sealed it, I glued it through the roof on the edges. And And then we're gonna flex seal. I'm gonna try to get, after I do these 4, I'm gonna try to put 2 more back there. So that'll be maybe, hopefully 3 if I can. We'll see.